Hey guys, what's going on? In today's video, I'm gonna go through the second part of my leg session. So in my previous video, I did calves and quads, and in today's session, I'm gonna do hamstrings and glutes. So I didn't really mention why I do that. So I was actually watching, I don't know who the content creator was, but I was looking at ways to develop my glutes, and who better than to follow than girls, because all they want to do is, you know, train glutes and legs. So I was watching this girl's video, I think she might have been Norwegian, and she was saying how she splits legs over 2 days, and not necessarily the same split that I'm doing, but she just does it over 2 days, and does pretty much, you know, separates at least quads and hamstrings on 2 separate sessions. And it actually made a lot of sense. She didn't really say why she did that necessarily. It's just what's worked for her. So 1 week I tried it, which was about probably, I don't know, a year ago. And yeah, ever since, I've now just separated legs over 2 days. And you know, if you look at the research, or at least some of the research that come out, they did mention how you're supposed to, you know, if you want to develop a muscle more in terms of growth, you need to train it like twice a week, basically. So the way I see it is, whenever you train like glutes, whenever you train hamstrings or quads, you're still kind of like, there are a few movements which you're going to target both, right? It's just obviously one has more of a focus on hamstrings, and one has a focus on quads. But you know, the supporting muscles kind of cross over a little bit. So as much as it is more focused on quads and hamstrings over 2 days, there will be a little bit of overlap, and actually plays in really well if you're trying to build legs, because you're technically hitting legs twice a week. So that's just my 2 cents. You guys can try it out and see if it works for you, but that's what I've been doing. So anyway, let's get into the video, and I'll provide some commentary over the top. Again, I was trying to film in the gym and have voiceovers, but the music in there is too loud. So maybe in the future, I'll do that, but yeah, not in today's session. So anyway, stay tuned. All right, so starting off the workout, I started with the seated leg curls. Now, hamstrings aren't something I've enjoyed doing over the years, I'll be honest, but after worrying about contractions for the past sort of 6 months, now worrying about weight, I can see now why I wasn't enjoying hamstrings to begin with, because you gotta find that point where you can actually get a decent amount of weight, but you're also getting a real sort of feeling through your hamstrings, which I don't think often most people know the difference, to be honest. So with this particular machine, you're driving your knees upwards as well as pushing your legs sort of to the last part of that movement I found works. So if you're sort of trying to hug those bars that are there and pushing yourself back into the seat, I find that the contraction moves away from your hamstrings. So driving your knees sort of up into the pad and pulling back, I found to be pretty effective. So yeah, I enjoyed starting off with this just to get a feel for it. And then the next few exercises are going to be more around sort of isolation. So the next exercise that I moved into, well, actually, no, it's another laying hamstring curl, my bad. That's later in the video. So again, doing some higher reps in the first set, and then slowly sort of increasing the weight. I went back to 12 reps because I wasn't really feeling my hamstring properly. So I went for another sort of 12 reps at the 53 on the 3rd set, and then increased the weight on the 4th. You can obviously go down in weight and go back up. There's no issue with doing that, especially if you're trying to get the contraction that you're wanting. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if you want the muscle to grow, you got to get it to contract properly, right? So yeah, so again, not much to go into here. It's pretty hard to stuff this exercise up, basically. And it's not, I mean, even when you're sort of watching any sort of hamstring video, it's not exactly exciting to watch necessarily. So yeah, it is what it is. Now, moving into the next exercise, I know a lot of guys don't like doing this glute exercise because it's a little bit like feminine, but trust me, add this into your workout, especially for glutes. Like, glutes help you on your squats and different leg exercises, so you can't neglect it. And this machine was actually really good because I don't know what it was, but where my sort of legs are going into the pad, that sits a lot lower than most machines. So I actually felt a lot more contraction through my glutes on this one. And yeah, judging by the reps that you can see there, I kept it sort of higher reps because this one in particular, you're just not going to get much out of it if you're just loading up with too much weight. And again, find that foundation for you. Figure out where that contraction point is and then increase weight over time. Not much to mention here on this exercise necessarily, but it's good to start with glutes to make sure you don't miss them towards the end of your workout as well. So now moving into the next exercise, we're isolating the glute again. This one I've picked up from a few YouTubers online, and I found it's worked well for me. 1 for balance and 2 for isolating the glute. You don't need a lot of weight here, and as you can see, I sort of started off with 15 kilos and doing 12 reps either side, and then increase the weight as we went on. But I didn't really want to focus too much on increasing the weight because, again, you just don't get much out of it, especially when it comes to glutes on certain exercises. Not all of them. Like if you're doing, hip thrusts with a bar or a strap that goes over both sort of hips, it's a little bit different to if you're just using one hip isolated and trying to obviously do the movement. So don't worry about weight on this exercise, just worry about the contraction right at the end, and you don't have to go too far down, otherwise you will lose that activation from the glute as well. So moving into the next exercise, I actually haven't done these in a while, and my hamstrings are still sore as I'm doing this video, which is 2 days later. So again, I don't really do deadlifts, but you are kind of getting the deadlift movement without the weight. So here, just focusing on driving your hips back, keeping those dumbbells close to your legs so they're not too far out in front of you, and just focusing on that sort of constant tension movement. And my lower back is sort of prone to having, issues over time. So I'm probably a little bit conservative on weight for this particular movement. So I could probably do more, but on this day I was feeling that lower back sort of start to get tight, and I think I need to worry about sort of some sort of hamstring extensions and body weight work to fix that, as well as doing some core movements. So so not much to necessarily report on this one. Moving on to the next exercise, as I was talking about my lower back, I went straight to this, where you don't even need weight for this to get good glute activation and to build up those supporting lower back muscles, which I think is a weakness because I don't really do things like deadlifts and things of that nature. The lighting is super freaking light in here, so I look like the absolute moon. You can barely see my legs here, but this one's just, pretty basic, not much to really go into here. But I think this is a good place to start if you do have a weak lower back and glutes. And you could probably do this at the start of your workout as well. So anyway, so moving into the last part of the exercise, this is the reverse lunges, where I'm trying to put more of a focus on my hamstrings here. And I kind of wish I didn't do them at the end of the workout because they were absolutely killing me. It was both sort of a mental game towards the end there. It doesn't look like that much weight, and it's only 16 kilos, but doing 12 reps either side at the end of the session, my sort of hamstrings were quivering the whole time, trying to get that balance. But it was actually a movement I enjoyed quite a bit. I mean, kettlebells, I don't think people use enough, including myself. So adding that in where I can was great. So again, you don't want to kick that back foot back too far, but just enough where it's supporting, but not necessarily helping you raise, the leg that's doing the work. But absolutely loved it. Throw this into your workout, and I kept this video quite short today because I thought the other one was a little bit too long. Let me know what you guys want to see in these videos. If you want it to be this length or longer, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.